Great. Good evening to all the participants. ICA Arun Chajed. Next topic is Eway Bill. Very interesting, practical and theory combinations. Starting with the topic Eway Bill. So first we try to understand what is Eway Bill. The Eway Bill, the name itself, it suggests E means electronic and way means for the in transit. A document which is required. It will have some validity period. It will have some relaxation when it will be prepared, not to be prepared, why to be prepared, that all the permutation combination we are going to discuss. Before starting the discussion, I like to show the practical Eway Bill, how the Eway Bill look like. So it would be easy for us to understand the theoretical provisions. This is only for your knowledge purpose, nothing to do with your examinations. This is exactly Eway Bill is. The today provisions are going to be all around with this form. It is not in your syllabus, but why I am showing, so that you can correlate the theoretical part with the practical provisions. Eway Bill is a document which could be generated by the supplier, by the recipient, or by even transporter. It will have two parts. Eway Bill will have two parts, part A and part B. Part A and part B. Why, sir, it has two parts? Sir, part A will have the information which you are having on your tax invoice. Maybe supplier name, customer name, value of the goods, quantity, address, HSN code, etc. And part B would have only the mode by which you are, moving your goods, by road, by rail, by air, or by ship, road come ship, regular or ODC cargo, and you need to enter the vehicle number. So one thing is clear, Eway Bill has two parts, part A and part B. Before starting the topic, I will explain certain point and then we will read the provisions. Right now, we are not starting with the provision. First, I will explain the basic concept, certain about the part A, part B, certain about the forms, and then we will start the Eway Bill provisions. This would be the basically agenda of the today class. Very good evening to all of you. So, Eway Bill is consist of part A and part B both. Fine. Once you fill part A and part B both, then it is called as Eway Bill and it has one form number EWB01. Before starting the movement of the goods, you had to complete the part A plus part B both. Before starting the movement of the goods, you have to complete part A and part B both. What are the information in the part A? Let me minutely talk about all the component or all the informations. See, outward or inward, meaning thereby supplier can also generate the Eway Bill or recipient can also generate the Eway Bill. Any one party can generate the Eway Bill and transporter are also permitted to generate the Eway Bill. You need to select the subcategory. So it is an export, job work, supply, etc. Then which document are used for generation of the e-way bill? Very, very important. If you are preparing the e-way bill, then there has to be the tax invoice or bill of the supply or delivery challan or some other document, as the case may be. But there would be the some document. You will write the document number, document date, transaction type. What is the transaction type? We will discuss regular, and also we will discuss bill to ship to model. What is the bill to ship to model? We will explain with the help of the practical example given in your ICI study material. Then you will write, so please, bill from means supplier, bill to means customer, dispatch from means starting location, and ship to means delivery location. Here there would be the concept of bill to ship to model that I will explain later on. Further, it asks the item detail, transportation detail. Based on starting location and dispatch location, automatically the system will calculate the number of kilometer distance and what is the use of the distance. Based on the distance, this e-way bill is valid. So I will explain 200 kilometer 1 day validity. 200 kilometer 1 day validity or any part thereof. It means, for example, I am sending the goods from Delhi to Maharashtra and it has say 1000 kilometer. Then it will have the validity of the 5 days. Part B, mode. By which mode you are sending the goods? By road, by rail, by air, or by ship? What is the meaning of the regular and ODC cargo? I will explain, but please note, this will have the impact on the validity period. The vehicle type will have the impact on the validity period. If it is a regular, then it will have the 200 kilometer per day. And if it is the ODC cargo, then it will have the 20 kilometer per day. What is the meaning of the ODC cargo? Just wait for some time. And vehicle number, then you will submit the information. And once you submit the information, e-way bill would be generated. This is the practical. I show you how e-way bill look like. One second. So now moving to some provision. The basic provision is governed in the rule 138, and also we will discuss 138A, 138B, 138C, 138D, all the provision we will discuss. When question number 1, when e-way bill is required to be generated, if the movement of the goods having the consignment value exceeding 50,000. What is the meaning of the consignment value? Consignment value means the value of goods or services plus GST. The consignment value means including GST. I hope you can correlate and compare. We have discussed what is the meaning of aggregate turnover. Can anybody tell me whether aggregate turnover will be include GST or not? Can anybody confirm whether it will include taxes or not? Mansa, yes, it is different, but we will discuss in the example. whenever there is a movement of the goods. Point number 1, the e-way bill is required for the movement of the goods. Movement can be because of the supply. So I am selling the goods to you and there is a movement of the goods from my location to your location. In that case, it is a supply and you need to generate the e-way bill if the consignment value exceed 50,000. Chaitanya, you cannot create the e-way bill for concept purpose. So you need user ID password, live user ID password. There is no concept of demo user ID password wherein you can try. First is for reason because of the supply and second is for reason other than supply. In case there is a movement of the goods, but it is not a supply. I hope you remember in the last class we have discussed that a work contractor is doing the work in say Lucknow and has received the contract in Noida also. He is moving his machinery to Noida. Is it a supply? Answer is no, it is not a supply. He is moving the goods from within the state from one location to another location to carry out the work. It is not a different GST number. It is not a supply. But if the value of the goods is more than 50,000, if the value of the goods is more than 50,000, then it requires e-way bill. Absolutely correct. All the participant is given the correct answer. Aggregate turnover will not include the taxes, but consignment value would be including taxes. One difference. And third is due to the inward supply from unregistered person. Due to the inward supply from unregistered person. Due to the inward supply from unregistered person. For example, supplier is unregistered, recipient is registered, then recipient need to prepare the e-way bill. It is the responsibility of the recipient to prepare the e-way bill. So in this particular part, e-way bill chapter, you may ask 2-3 questions of theoretical type and maybe practical also, but major chance is theory. Conceptually, you should be clear that when e-way bill would be required to be prepared if the value is more than 50,000 and it can be because of the supply other than supply and from unregistered person, inward supply from unregistered person, then the registered person who caused the movement of the goods, very important terms, who will prepare the e-way bill, the primary responsibility is on the person who causes the movement of the goods. If it is my responsibility to deliver the goods at your location, then prima facie supplier would be liable for generate the e-way bill. If customer is responsible for movement of the goods, then primary responsibility is on the customer. However, any party can generate the e-way bill, there is no problem. Then first they will furnish the information in the part A of EWB 01. Part A of EWB 01. What is the meaning of the consignment? What is the meaning of the consignment value of the goods? Determined in accordance with section 15. I hope you have completed the valuation of chapter value of the supply. What is the value of the goods or services? You understand how to calculate the value declared in an invoice, or it can be bill of supply, or it can be delivery challan, as the case may be in respect of the consignment. And important, it includes the CGST, SGST, UTGST, or IGST or cess, if any, in the document, and shall exclude one inclusion, one exclusion. What is the exclusion? If exempt supply of the goods where the invoice is issued in respect of both exempt and taxable supply of the goods. Can anybody tell me? Can anybody tell me when we can prepare the single document named as invoice cum bill of supply, when one can prepare the invoice cum bill of the supply for exempt and taxable goods supplied together. I hope you remember the rule 46 capital A, which we have discussed in the last class. I need the answer. Kindly give me the reply that exempt and taxable supply the goods can be issued the single document. Yes, there would be the answer. According to the rule 46 capital A, we can issue, but when we can issue? Please give me the reply. When we can issue single document which will be called as invoice cum bill of the supply? The answer is if supplier making the supply to unregistered person, if yes, absolutely correct, Abhishek. If the recipient is unregistered person, then it can be merged and a single document can be issued invoice cum bill of the supply. In that type of the document, you will have the taxable, you will have the exempted both, but value of the exempt supply would be excluded. So what we have discussed? We have discussed that if the consignment value exceed 50,000, it is mandatory to prepare the Eway bill in part A plus part B both. Who is primarily responsible? Who causes the movement of the goods? Who is primarily responsible? Who is causing the movement of the goods? Give me the quick answer. I am giving the consultancy services worth of rupees 51,000. Do I need to prepare the Eway bill? I am providing the consultancy services to you. The total value is 51,000. Please tell me, should I generate the Eway bill or not? If you are saying any answer, give me the reasoning. It should be supported by reason. If I am providing the consultancy services, I have raised the bill of rupees 51,000. Should I prepare the Eway bill or not? Yes or no? Give me the reason. The answer is no. Why no? Because Eway bill would be generated only for the goods. If there is a movement of the goods, then only Eway bill would be prepared. Eway bill can be for the supply, other than supply, and due to the inward supply from unregistered person. Normally, I can say the normal provision, if the value is more than 50,000, then only Eway bill would be required. However, there are two situations. There are two situations in which you need to prepare the Eway bill even though it is less than 50,000. There are two situations wherein mandatory Eway bill is required. Irrespective of any value. The point is, first is interstate supply by the interstate transfer of the goods. Interstate transfer of the goods by the principal to the job worker. Interstate transfer of the goods by the principal to the job worker. If principal sending the goods to the job worker and it is from one state to the another state, say principal located in Delhi and job worker located in UP, sending the goods, irrespective of any value, Eway bill has to be prepared. Is it a supply? Answer is no, sir. It is not a sale. It is only moving the goods so that UP job worker can complete the job work and return the goods. UP job worker can complete the services and then return the goods. It is not a supply. From Delhi to UP, it is not a supply. Then why Eway bill is required to be prepared? We have discussed The three situation. It movement of the goods because of the supply, movement of the goods other than supply. What is other than supply? One example, sending the goods from the principal to the job worker or vice versa. It is not a supply, but still why e-way bill is required to be prepared? Because we have discussed by reason other than supply, if there is movement of the goods, we need to prepare the e-way bill. So this exception can be asked, that whether we need to generate the e-way bill if the value is more than 50. No, there are two exceptions. One exception, inter, not forgot to write inter. Not forgot to write inter because for intra, it may be the different answer. Why different answer? We will discuss in sub rule 14 clause D. But for the time being, I am only explaining if it is interstate transfer of the goods by principal to the job worker. Yes, in that case, whatever the value is there, you need to generate the e-way bill. Who causes the movement of the goods? Jai Gandhi means the person who is responsible for movement. Sometime there is a concept of supplier will hand over the goods at its factory gate. Now the customer is responsible to pick the goods and make it available, make it and deliver the same to his location. In this case, we can say the customer is causing the movement. Causing the movement means who is responsible for movement, for transportation. Sometime in CIF, you know the term CIF and FOB. In case of the CIF, cost insurance freight, the supplier is responsible to make the delivery of the goods at the customer location. In that case, supplier is the person who caused the movement of the goods. Is it clear? Kindly confirm. In relation to other than supply purpose, delivery challan along with e-way bill, absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. So interstate, Vedant not able to understand which scenario you are talking about because there is a slight gap in receiving the reply. So at the same time, I'm not receiving the reply. So there is some gap. So please mention for which case you need the example, will provide. Kumbu Dorji, sir, the loss of the goods during transit amounting to 50 also provide e-way bill. So when you are starting the movement, that time you need to check the value. You are not required to check during the transit. And please note, you are required to prepare the e-way bill before the start of the movement of the goods, not during or not after delivery. Good question. Vrinda, sir, when job worker return the goods, then again e-way bill need to be generated. Absolutely correct. Good question and absolutely correct. When returning, he will also responsible or principal. Any party can generate, but yes, e-way bill would be there. Fine. Now the second and important interstate transfer of the handicraft goods by a person exempted from obtaining the registrations. Section 24. You remember section 24, we have discussed that if casual taxable person is making the supply of the handicraft goods, normally casual taxable person is covered in the compulsory registration. But yes, he can provide the supply the handicraft goods. Even interstate, he is not required to take the registration up to 20 lakh or 10 lakh as the case may be. You can go back to the registration chapter and check what is the relaxation available to the handicraft goods. But in this case, if person has taken the relaxation or not required to be take the registration in the GST, and if he is moving the handicraft goods interstate, it's mandatory e-way bill. What is the meaning of handicraft goods? The notification number, even you can remember the notification number, which exempt the casual taxable person making interstate taxable supply the such handicraft goods from obtaining the registration specified turnover. We have already discussed, so not covering about this point. Vrinda, sir, please explain what is excluded in consignment, meaning consignment value exclude the, see, if we prepare, see, what is the total value? The total value is 50,000, correct? Na? If the total value exceeds 50,000, we need to prepare the e-way bill. What is being included? Tax, GST. What is being excluded? If any document, let's say invoice cum bill of the supply is being there. Let's say invoice cum bill of the supply is there, in which taxable item as well as exempted item both are there. Then you will exclude the exempted item and you will not include for the purpose of counting the consignment value. Why there is a question of RCM? Sunil Dubey, kindly confirm, is it clear? Chaitanya, customer is the cause of the movement of the goods. If not, correct me, sir. See, depend upon the situation to situation. So if the transaction is FOB, free on board, so in which supplier is not responsible, we will move the goods. Customer, in this case, we will say the customer is responsible for movement of the goods, and who is causing the movement. Prima facie responsibility is on the customer. Second example I have given on CIF, cost insurance freight. So in which supplier responsible to move the goods till your factory, till your customer location, till the customer location. In that case, we can say supplier causing the movement of the goods, and therefore supplier is responsible. Prima facie. Only one. See, the document can, that is good point. That is good question. Somesh has asked, if both party prepare the bill, if both party prepare e-way bill at the same time, please note one thing, document number can be used only once. Document number can be used only once because there would be only one document. So if I am supplying the goods to you, if I am selling the goods to you, then either normally I will prepare the document. On that document, only one party can generate the e-way bill, because once you use that number, it will not be used anywhere else. It will not be used again for the purpose of e-way bill. Scenario, principal and job worker. Vedant, let's say let's talk about example of diamond. Okay. You are the basically supplier of the diamond, but that need some alteration, finishing, etc. So when you purchase the diamond, raw diamond, then you are sending the diamond to your job worker for the purpose of finishing the diamond. In that case, you are moving the goods. If the value is 50,000, then you need to prepare the e-way bill. So not take the diamond example is not correct. Let's take another example. Suppose you are doing the business of sari. Okay. So, and it need embroidery work. So you are sending the goods to the job worker for the purpose of embroidery. If it is an interstate, then you will need to generate the e-way bill when the goods are greater than 50,000. No, sir. Here it is an exception. If the principal sending the goods to the job worker, interstate, irrespective of any value, e-way bill has to be prepared. Is it okay? Kindly confirm. Can you explain the second situation where e-way bill is needed? Yeah, right. Second, it means casual taxable person. You remember that section 24, which we have discussed in detail. What is the meaning of casual taxable person and who all are exempted? You can refer the registration chapter slide once again. My humble request. But in that case, we have discussed normally casual taxable person is covered in the mandatory registration. But if he is engaged in the handicraft goods, he is not required till 20 lakh or 10 lakh. He is not required registration. In that case, if he is getting the relaxation from registration because of the handicraft goods, in that case, if he is moving the goods interstate handicraft, in that case, he need to prepare the e-way bill mandatory. These are the two relaxation and two exception from 50,000. Option. So you will select in Eway Bill website purchase return made on that. How to see, Avinash, that is actually practical, but which is not relevant for your exam. So if I select which category to be selected for which option, that you might get confused. So that category would not be the form part of your syllabus. We will discuss only the part which is in your syllabus. Sir, movement of the goods from transporter to other. Yes, there is one exception, Vivek. Just wait for some time. We will discuss that part also. Now we are talking about bill to ship to model. Bill to ship to model. Say, for example, B is one party. B is one party from Delhi. A is customer of Mr. B from Maharashtra. And C is customer of A and he is also from Delhi. Brinda Agarwal, absolutely correct. So there are two exceptions. There are two exceptions, one handicraft goods and one interstate. So even if the value of the 50,000 not exceed, you need to prepare the Eway bill. Interstate sales return, Eway bill necessary, value exceed 50,000, then otherwise not. Sunil Dubey, absolutely correct. Handicraft goods not required to register until and unless he cross the threshold limit of 20 lakh or 10 lakh. Both party cannot generate because on one document only one party can use. Once it is used, another party cannot use the same document number. Fine. So my example is A is a customer from Maharashtra. He has given the order to B. So B is a supplier. B is a supplier. Now, but A is saying, please deliver the goods to my customer location. Please deliver the goods. Please deliver the goods to my customer location. C. Now, I can say there are three parties. For this, B is a supplier and A is a customer. Try to understand this example. Give me the confirmation if it is clear to all. Give me the confirmation. I can say I am explaining right now bill to ship to model. Right now I am explaining bill to ship to model. What is bill to ship to model? I am taking the example. A has given the purchase order to B, B from Delhi, A from Maharashtra to deliver certain goods. Similarly, A has received the order from C that to deliver the goods. I can say in this transaction, there are two tax invoice. In this transaction, there are two tax invoice. One tax invoice from B to A. Another tax invoice A will raise on C. But will the moment assume that he is purchasing the goods, whatever the requirement is of C. Do you think that goods first will be moved from Delhi to Maharashtra and then it will go again Maharashtra to Delhi? Will it move like this? Answer is no. A will give the instruction to B that please deliver the goods at this location in Delhi. So you can think from B point of view. B is raising the tax invoice to A but making the delivery of the goods C. B is raising bill to A and ship to C because there are two different party. Billing part is different, shipping part is different. Therefore, it is called as bill to ship to model. First, tell me whether confirmation. Please confirm. Is it clear to all or not? Is it clear to all or not? This example. First, tell me the example is clear to all. Then I will explain how to prepare the Eway bill in this case. There is question. Yes, without having the GST number, how the person will generate the e-way bill in case interstate transfer of the handicraft goods by a person exempted from registration? Question is good. Udin Kumar Chaudhary, there is an option that unregistered party can also generate the e-way bill. So no problem. Even unregistered party can also generate the e-way bill. Without GST number, party can also generate the e-way bill. So how to generate the e-way bill in that case? So that I will explain in the last. But only one point, that even unregistered person can also generate the e-way bill. So there is no problem. And exception clear, Pooja. Great. If the moment is only for the exempted supply, what will be the consignment? We will discuss in the rule 138, sub rule 14. There is a relaxation if you are only moving the exempted goods. In rule 138, sub rule 14, there is a relaxation if you are moving only exempted goods, except one item, you are not required to prepare the e-way bill. Tanu, not clear. And clear. Example is quite clear. Tanu is only saying that it is not clear. No problem. I will explain once more. B is from Delhi. A is from Maharashtra. C is from Delhi. Who is B? A is giving the order to B, and B is the supplier and A is the customer for one transaction. Whatever goods he is purchasing, he need to deliver the goods at Delhi location. B is from Delhi, A is from Maharashtra, C is from Delhi. C has given the order to A, then A has in turn given the purchase order to B. So there will be two tax invoice, one tax invoice by B to A, tax invoice number 1, let's say. And also A will raise the invoice to C, then there would be another tax invoice A to C, tax invoice number 2. Now my point is how the goods will be moved. There are two tax invoice, no doubt about that. There are two supply, no doubt about that. But how many movement of the goods are there? Will the goods be moved like from first B will deliver the goods to A and then A will send the goods to C? Answer would be not possible practically, because otherwise it has huge transportation cost, possibility of the damage, unnecessary delay, various possibilities are there. In that case, A will request to B, please move the goods directly to C. Now I can say how many movement of goods are there? How many movement are there? Only one. Therefore, in this case, in the bill to ship to model, there will be the two supply, there will be two tax invoice. But because there is only one movement directly to the ultimate customer, therefore one e-way bill would be prepared. Fine. I hope, Tanu, is it clear? Sunil Dubey, if it is like manufacturing or the case maybe, then it is okay. Otherwise, I am saying whatever the goods has been ordered by C, same goods it has been purchased from B, and same goods to be delivered to C. So in that case, A will request to be directly deliver the goods to C. Tanu, I hope, is it okay? Kindly confirm. Let e-way bill would be required whether the goods are interstate or intrastate. Whether the movement is inter or intra, e-way bill would always be required, except we will discuss the certain relaxation in 138 sub rule 14, except two cases where we have discussed interstate mandatory e-way bill. I ask C तो कहीं भी हो सकता है ना? हाँ, महाराष्ट्र में भी हो सकता है, दिल्ली में भी हो सकता है. प्लीज आंसर. हाँ, कहीं भी हो सकता है. I have just used 3 locations so that you can understand the movement would not be in the longer way, it can be directly. So it's not necessary Delhi and Delhi, it can be Maharashtra. Absolutely correct. For example, both party in Delhi and movement of the goods is in Maharashtra. It is possible. I am giving one example. That's it. So the goods would be moved directly from B to C. Now I hope it is clear. Now please confirm once again, in bill to ship to model, there is two supply, but there is one Eway bill, because Eway bill depend upon the movement of the goods. Goods are directly moved by one party to the another party, only one movement, therefore one Eway bill. Please confirm this is clear. There would be only one Eway bill, because in bill to ship to model there will be the two supply, but movement is only once, therefore one Eway bill. Privacy would be violated, Rakeshji. Absolutely correct, Rakesh Vyas. Absolutely correct. That is the problem. But to a larger extent, it will be resolved by the help of INB1, invoice, e-invoice. So how to prepare the Eway bill? How to prepare this Eway bill? How to prepare this Eway bill? How to prepare this Eway bill? Now see, in case of the bill to ship to model, from transaction type, you will select bill to ship to model. From transaction type, you will select bill to ship to model. Assuming B is generating the Eway bill. So supplier is B. Supplier is B. And who is customer of B? Who is customer of B? Mr. A. Who is customer of B? Mr. A. From where it is being picked? Starting location Delhi. And where it is being delivered? Will it be at Maharashtra? Answer is no. It will be at C, Delhi address. So this would be the base. This would be the pattern to make the Eway bill for bill to ship to model. Eway bill can be generated by either B or A or C. By any party it can be generated. What is the necessity of the Eway bill in commercial activity? We'll discuss what is the main benefit. What is the main benefit of this Eway bill? We'll discuss. Pooja, Eway bill can be generated either by the supplier or by the recipient or even by transporter. Any party can generate the Eway bill. Now moving to the provision once again. Invoice number 1 by B to A. Invoice number 2 will be A to C. Only one Eway bill is required. What are the information? What are the information in the part A? GST number of the supplier, recipient, place of the delivery, PIN code, document. It can be tax invoice, bill of supply, delivery challan, or bill of entry. But bill of entry is normally for import of the goods, but that is covered in the final. So not too much discussed, but normally bill of entry would be, if you are importing, then you will prepare the Eway bill on the basis of bill of entry. The invoice issued by B to A is on intra-tax based. B is from Delhi, A is from Maharashtra. That will be interstate, sir. Rahul, that would be the interstate. Sunil Dubey, you are saying it is clear, or you are saying it is getting confused. So can you please confirm once again? Supply means tax invoice. Supply means how many sales are there. Supply according to the GST point of view. I'm not saying supply means moving the goods. Supply from the GST. There are two sales I'm saying. One sale by B to A and one sale by A to C. Therefore, I'm saying there are two sale, two supply, two tax invoice would be there. Vedant, kindly confirm. If it is not clear, then please ask again. If the reverse transit, if there reverse transit between two party, one Eway bill is considered, or separate bill should be drawn between two party? Reverse transit between two party means, so normally the Eway bill would be prepared. Suppose reverse transit means I'm not clear. Kumbu Dorji, please confirm what is the meaning of the reverse transit. Rahul, if you see the tax invoice, the B is from Delhi and A is from Maharashtra. So this tax invoice would be interstate. IGST would be there. But movement of the goods, I have to mention the starting location. I have to mention the ending location. Again, this particular part will show what is the nature of the supply. Suppose I am saying that B is preparing B to A. It is an interstate supply. Interstate supply, if you see the tax invoice, IGST would be there. But this movement can be inter or can be intra. This is only movement. It is not a supply. Can I say if I see the Eway bill of bill to ship to model, this would determine what is the nature of the supply. This would determine what is the nature of movement. Movement means from where it is starting and from where it is starting and to where it is delivering. Starting location, dispatch from and ship to. Where the goods movement is starting, where the goods are to be delivered. But this will be tell me what is the nature of the transaction. Is it interstate supply, intrastate supply? B customer is A, but B will supply goods to C in this case. Yes. B's customer is A. They are absolutely correct. Therefore, in the supplier name, B is writing his name. In the customer name, he is writing A, but he is making the delivery to C. Therefore, he is writing C's address of Delhi. Mansa, this is not the point that whether I am working in the principal capacity or in the agent capacity, doesn't matter. If there is a movement of the goods, there has to be Eway bill. Prima facie, if the value is more than 50,000, Eway bill has to be there. What are the two exceptions? Interstate principal to job worker, interstate handicraft. Okay, now clear. If you are, for example, C sending the goods back to A, if you are saying C sending back the goods to A, then another Eway bill would be prepared. Another Eway bill would be prepared. It can be on the basis of the document which is being issued by C. Rupesh, there are multiple items which is being relaxed. We will discuss in sub rule 14, which item no Eway bill is required. Fine, let's move further. So part A is clear. Part B, I have discussed that what all the information to be entered, like transporter document number, GRN, railway receipt number, airway bill number, vehicle number in the case of the transport road to be furnished. Yes, please note one thing. We have discussed that however the part A may be furnished. So primarily responsibility is the person who causing the movement of the goods. Prima facie responsibility is the person. Prima facie responsibility is the person who causing the movement of the goods, but part A can be filled by the transporter or even by e-commerce operator or courier company. They can also fill on behalf of the supplier, transporter, courier company. They can also fill the Eway bill part A. Once the consignor or consignee enter all the details of the part A slip is generated, which contain the temporary number. This can be shared with the transporter if used by the supplier himself later to enter the part B. What is the part B? Part B, normally I can say the vehicle number to be entered. Vehicle number and document number, that like GRN number or railway receipt or etc. Part B, part A can be filled by any party. Similarly, part B can be filled by any party, either by the supplier or even transporter can also fill. Who is mandatorily required to generate the Eway bill? Now try to understand this point. Normally, Eway bill is to be generated by the consignor or the consignee himself. The transportation is being done in own or hired conveyance or by railway or by air or by vessel. If the goods are handed over to the transporter for transportation by road, Eway bill is to be generated by the transporter. Where neither the consignor nor the consignee generate the Eway bill and the value of the goods more than 50,000, it shall be the responsibility of the transporter to generate it. Now this rule is saying Suppose I am the supplier and I have handed over the goods to the transporter without e-way bill. Can we say that there is no e-way bill required because supplier is not given? No. Subrule 3 is saying now it is the responsibility of the transporter to generate the e-way bill. If the consignor or consignee has not generated and goods has been handed over to the transporter, then it is the responsibility of the transporter to generate the e-way bill. So where the goods are transported by a registered person, whether as a consignor or as a recipient as the consignee in his own conveyance or hired or public conveyance by road, the said person shall have to generate the e-way bill by furnishing the information in the part B on the common portal. Again, I am repeating, even unregistered person can also generate the e-way bill. Registered person can generate the e-way bill, unregistered person can also generate the e-way bill. Even unregistered transporter can also generate the e-way bill. There's a concept of transporter ID. There's a concept of transporter ID, trans ID for unregistered transporter. There's a concept of transporter ID for unregistered transporter. Sir, why they are needed to take the unregistered transporter ID? So that they can also generate the e-way bill. They cannot be relaxed by saying, because I do not have the GST number, so I cannot generate the e-way bill. No, all the possibility has been removed. Registered person can generate the e-way bill, unregistered transporter can generate the e-way bill, even citizen can also generate the e-way bill. Means the statement is not correct that only registered person can generate the e-way bill. Let me complete certain part, then I will come back to your queries. Where the e-way bill is not generated, that we have discussed, where the goods are transported by railway or by air or by vessel. Here I am not saying, here I am excluding by road. One important point you need to understand. If the goods are to be moved by road, part A and part B both need to be generated before the movement of the goods. Part A and part B both has to be filled prior to the movement of the goods. You can't say after the movement, you can't say that, sir, I have completed part A, I will fill the part B later on. Not accepted in case of road. What is the difference in case of the railway or by air or by vessel? They are saying the e-way bill shall be generated by the registered person, being the supplier, or by the recipient, either before or. This is the exception, that if the goods are being moved by railway, by air or by vessel, then it can be moved, then it can be filled even after the movement of the, or after the commencement of the movement. Furnish the information in the part B. What will be the part B? Transport document number, GRN number, or railway receipt, or airway bill, or bill of landing number on the common portal. Please remember, normally if it is by road, part A and part B both has to be generated before the movement. But yes, there is one exception. If the goods are being moved by air, by rail, or by vessel, then part B can be generated even after the movement. Part B can be entered even after the movement. But one thing more is being added. If the goods is being transported by railway, if the goods are being transported by railway, it is the responsibility of the railway person. They will not hand over the goods unless and until complete e-way bill is being given. There is no requirement to carry the e-way bill along with the goods, but railway has to carry the invoice, delivery challan, or bill of supply, as the case may be. Further, e-way bill generated for the movement is required to be produced at the time of delivery of the goods. When railway person is giving the delivery of the goods to you, then it is required that you have to submit, you have to furnish complete e-way bill part A plus part B both. E-way bill. So you remember that yesterday we have discussed about e-invoicing, that optionally or voluntarily it is not available. only if your aggregate turnover exceed the prescribed limit. If your aggregate turnover exceed the prescribed limit, then only you are required to prepare the e-invoice. Correct? Voluntarily, if I like to generate the invoice, not possible. But Eway bill, normally it is more than 50,000, but it say 138.3 saying voluntarily it is optional. If you like to generate the Eway bill for the consignment value less than 50,000, no problem, you can generate. There is no problem. Let me discuss certain queries. Let's say you are supplying the goods through DTDC to me. So Eway bill is required to make by DTDC. Yes, because the DTDC would be the party who knows the document number, etc. or vehicle number. Part A can be filled by me and part B can be left over on the DTDC. Because Somesh Kharat, because in case of the road, prior to the moment you will have the document. But in case of the railway, in case of the air, when everything is being loaded on the by railway, or it is being loaded on the airway, or it's being loaded on the ship vessel, then only you will have the document like railway receipt, bill of lading. Therefore, they are saying in this case, by rail, by ship, or by air, you can generate after the moment, but before delivery. Unregistered recipient can also generate. Answer is yes. Rakesh Vyas, why? What if party is filled by the supplier and the truck has technical snags and get delayed by valid period? There is a option, and we will discuss the exceptional two situations are there wherein the time limit can be extended by the transporter or even by the commissioner. There are two exceptions we will discuss in some time. Namrata, if party is filled by the supplier, remaining part B can be generated by the recipient. No. If the part is being filled by the supplier, so then part B can be filled either by the supplier or by the transporter, not by the recipient. Mansha, in bill to ship to model, location of the supplier and the location of recipient is relevant. Location of supplier and the location of recipient is not relevant. The important say from where the goods are being started, from where the goods is being delivered to where it is being delivered. So dispatch from and dispatch to will be relevant. It can be same or it can be different. So starting location would be the supplier location. No problem. In the bill to ship to model, billing party is different, recipient customer is different. So where the goods are delivered is different. So I can say the bill to ship to model, the starting location and the supply location would be same. But in the delivery location, it will be different. Whenever there is a movement of the goods, Eway bill provision has to be checked. Absolutely correct. Provided value is more than 50,000 normally. Why GST is so hard to interstate supplier? Same, almost same. Rakesh Vyas. I think all the question is being answered. Not understand by railway. Vandana, I'm saying if you are moving the goods by road, then part A plus part B both prior to the movement. If the goods are being moved by the railway, by air, by vessel, then part A before the movement, part B can be after the movement. There is a relaxation. Why there is a relaxation? Because the document, underlying document would not be immediately available with you. So railway receipt number, airway docket number, bill of lading number. So that will be given by you. That will be given to you after some time. So you can generate even after the movement. That is the part. And third part, I'm saying the railway will not deliver the goods to railway will not deliver the goods to the ultimate customer unless and until complete Eway bill has been given. Part A plus part B both. Goods caught by the cell tax authority while moving from factory to the railway station, then what would be the response? Penalty, sir, under section 129. The penalty part is not in your chapter. We will discuss that, will be in the final chapter, or you can go to the Google and section 129, you can find out. In case of the bill to ship to model, B will ship the goods to C under the order of A. So A will charge IGST for the supply since he is in the different state. Is my understanding right? Absolutely right. See, the supply is interstate. Absolutely correct. Correct. No problem. So the tax invoice would be IGST, but the goods will be moved from B to C, which is intrastate movement. So the location to be entered, that will be of same state. That's it. that we have discussed. Now, when it is not mandatory to furnish the details of conveyance in the part B, so Eway Bill is valid for movement of the goods by road only when the information in the part B furnished. Exception we have discussed. So now moving to the next part. Once Eway Bill would be generated, so there would be the unique Eway Bill number that is called EWBN number. EWBN number, that unique Eway Bill number would be communicated to the supplier, to the recipient, to the transporter. Now, suppose goods is being moved from one location, say from Delhi to Maharashtra, and in between there is a breakdown. Unforeseen exigency like breakdown of the vehicle, or there is an accident. In that case, suppose it is a vehicle number 1, it is being there. Now, because of the breakdown, you will shift, the transporter will shift the goods to the another vehicle. Whenever there is a change in the conveyance, whenever there is a change in the conveyance, whenever there is a change in the vehicle, part B has to be updated. Part B can be updated multiple times within the validity period. No problem. Part A once entered cannot be edited. Please note, part A once entered cannot be edited. Part B can be updated multiple times, no problems. So like in this case, if it is a breakdown, etc., vehicle number is changed, please ensure to generate the, please ensure to update the part B. The user can update the part B as many times as you want to move the goods, as many times, because you can update the part B multiple times. However, it should be within the validity period. There can also be the case where one Eway Bill can go through the multiple mode of the transportation before reaching the destination. For example, it is being started by road, then by air, then by railway, then by ship, might be. So you need to update the part B accordingly. You need to update the part B accordingly. Fine. Assignment of Eway Bill to the another transporter. Mr. A has given the shipment, to deliver to XYZ transporter. Now XYZ is given the work or sub-assigned the work to say BC Private Limited. So now then in that case, the assignment of Eway Bill is possible. The consignor who has furnished the information in the part A or the transporter may assign the Eway Bill number to the another registered or enrolled transporter for updating the information in the part B for further movement of the consignment. So please note why registered/enrolled transport is being written, because transporter can be registered or even unregistered transporter can himself enroll on the Eway Bill portal and generate the transporter ID. It is called as trans ID. It is called as trans ID. Let me go back. One second. Let me go back and then so that I can explain, you can highlight this part. So please, this transporter ID is a unique number generated by the EWB system for unregistered transporter once he enroll on the system, which is similar to the GST format. So the like GST number is the 15 digits, same, but it is being used for the unregistered so that they can also generate the Eway Bill. Assigning the Eway Bill to the another transporter, that we have completed. Now the next part is consolidated Eway Bill. Consolidated Eway Bill means, so now one thing, make it clear. Suppose there are two tax invoices. I'm not talking about bill to ship to model. Suppose there are two tax invoices. A Limited is a supplier, B Limited is a customer. A Limited is a supplier, C Limited is a customer. Both are located, say, in one location, let's say ITO, Delhi. Fine. Now the both invoices, there is two tax invoice. Now both invoices and goods are handed over to the transporter, say Gati transporter. Please tell me, A Limited will generate the one e-way bill or he has to generate the two e-way bill? Whether A Limited will have to generate the one e-way bill or he has to generate the two e-way bill, kindly confirm. In bill to ship to model, only one document is generated, that is e-way bill. Absolutely correct. Sir, this exception point, generate e-way bill even if the consignment value is only applicable when the goods transported by railway. Shivangini, you are talking about something different. This is the exception, not of the value. This is the exception that when e-way bill or part B to be filled after the movement. This is the exception, agreed, but this is not the exception for the value, but this is the exception when part B can be entered after the movement. Srisha, I have given confirmation, your understanding. So in this case, can one e-way bill is okay or two e-way bill is required to be generated? Please note one thing, e-way bill would be for every document. So if there are two tax invoice, there is two e-way bill. You are sending the goods of two party, underlying two tax invoice. There are two tax invoice, two different party. There has to be two e-way bill. There has to be two e-way bill. Why there has to be two e-way bill? Go back and see how you can generate the single e-way bill, because you need to write customer name. How you can generate the single e-way bill? You need to write the customer name. So suppose supplier is A, either you can write B or you can write C. So therefore, if there is multiple document like tax invoice or delivery challan or multiple conveyance, you need to generate the multiple e-way bill. What is the consolidated e-way bill? Nothing to do here. Now, what is the consolidated e-way bill? See, try to understand. This is a different concept. Again, I'm saying consolidated e-way bill is not that you can consolidate multiple document in a one e-way bill. No. Consolidated e-way bill is a time-saving mechanism to the transporter. A time-saving mechanism to the transporter. If there are two tax invoice, it cannot be consolidated and one e-way bill prepared. No. What is the consolidated e-way bill? It is something different. It is something different. What is the different? Let me complete. If suppose A Limited is supplying the goods to B Limited, correct? He has filled the part A. He has completed the part A. Now the part B would be completed either by himself or even transporter can complete the part B. Even transporter can complete the part B of e-way bill. Think about 100 customer, 100 supplier has reached to Gati transporter with only part A. Now think about 100 tax invoice is there with Gati transporter wherein he need to update the part B. In this case, if the transporter will update individual part A e-way bill, if the transporter individually open the part A e-way bill and update the part B, it will take lot of time. So for that purpose, the one concept that is consolidated e-way bill is being prepared only for the transporter to make consolidation for part B. He know that all these 100 consignment will goes in the particular single conveyance, in a single truck. Those all 100 consignment is to be carried in a single transport, in a single conveyance. Then what he can do, either he can individually update, or he can generate EWB02. Please note one thing, EWB02 is the facility available to the transporter, only consolidation with respect to part B. What he can do, he can generate the EWB01, he can select all 100 part A Eway bill and put the vehicle number only once. Put the vehicle number only once. So this is the way of consolidated Eway bill. Now go back, go and read the theory provisions. After Eway bill has been generated, where multiple consignments are intended to be transported in one conveyance, the transporter may indicate the serial number of Eway bill generated in respect of each such consignment, and consolidated Eway bill in EWB02 may be generated by him on the said common portal prior to the movement of the goods. Consolidated Eway bill is a document containing the multiple Eway bill for multiple consignment being carried in a one conveyance, one goods vehicle, one truck. That is, the transporter carrying multiple consignment of various consignor and consignees in a single conveyance can generate and carry the single document, that is consolidated Eway bill, instead of carrying the separate document for each consignment in that single conveyance. So that you can read the theory, I have explained the provisions. Information submitted for Eway bill can be used for filing the GST return. That is important. That is important. So if I add the information in the part A, that will be traveled to the GST R1. So it can be used. It will be auto-populated in the GST returns, and so that it will be easy comparatively, because I am putting the customer name, I am putting the product categories, HSN code, SSC code, and value of the goods, taxes, etc. All the details are being there, so it can be used in the GST returns. Cancellation of Eway bill, 24 hours. Can I say it is similar to e-invoice? Same provision we have discussed in e-invoice, same provision we are discussing in consolidated Eway bill. Sorry, cancellation of Eway bill. Eway bill can also be cancelled within 24 hours of generation. If 24 hours is crossed, nothing can be done. However, if Eway bill cannot be cancelled if it is verified in transit, suppose I am sending the goods from one location to the another location and the validity period is only 24 hours. Validity period is only 24 hours. And in between, the same has been checked by the proper officer. Once it has been verified in transit, it cannot be cancelled. Further, unique Eway bill generated is valid for a period of 15 days for the part B. That what does it mean? So I have entered part A. Can the part be updated later on? Yes, it can be updated later on, no problem. Part B can be updated later on, but maximum time limit is 15 days. Maximum time limit is 15 days. Within 15 days, part B need to be updated. Question is, can we cancel only part A? Sir, if you filled only part A, there is no requirement of cancellation, because after completion of the 15 days, it will automatically archive. It's of no use. So once I have completed the part A plus completed the part B, then only I can say it is Eway bill. Then only I can say it is Eway bill. And once completed Eway bill is there, you can cancel within 24 hours. What is the difference between e-invoice and Eway bill? We will definitely talk about, but let me complete Eway bill topic first and then definitely touch upon the multiple point for differentiation. Validity period of Eway bill. Validity period. So every Eway bill has validity period based on the distance. What is the validity period? So normally it is 200 kilometers for 1 day. In case other than ODC cargo, what is the over-dimensional cargo or multimodal shipment in which at least 1 lakh involve the transportation by ship. So multimodal means you are carrying the goods by road, by rail, by ship. This is called as a multimodal shipment. Normally, if the distance is 200 kilometers, it is valid for 1 day. and any part thereof 1 extra day. For example, the distance is of 201 kilometer. It is valid for 2 days. If the distance is 201 kilometer, for 200 kilometer, it is 1 day. And for every extra part thereof, it is additional 1 day. Now the time, or in case of the ODC cargo, that it is reduced to 20 kilometer 1 day. What is the meaning of ODC cargo? ODC cargo means, let me go down. ODC cargo means a cargo carried in the single indivisible unit. Important term. What is the important in this definition? Single indivisible unit. Suppose I purchase one plant and machinery which cannot be dismantled. I have purchased one plant and machinery which cannot be dismantled. But if we put that plant and machinery on a single truck, because it cannot be divided, it has to be carried in a single truck. If I am putting on a conveyance, if I am putting this on a vehicle, then whatever the vehicle rule is saying, maximum dimensional limit, whatever it is being prescribed in the Motor Vehicle Act, by putting that machine, the maximum dimensional weight according to the Motor Vehicle Act is being exceeded. Repeating again, the criteria is that unit should be, the goods which you are carrying should be single and it cannot be divided, indivisible, single indivisible unit. But if I put on that particular conveyance, the total limit, total dimensional weight of that conveyance defined in the Motor Vehicle Act is being exceeded because you are carrying that particular single indivisible unit. If this is the case, then it is permissible. Eway Bill is saying no problem, you can carry, and we agree that this conveyance will not move in a normal speed. It has to be in a very, very, very slow speed. That is the reason the limit has been reduced to 20 kilometer per day instead of 200 kilometer per day. We will discuss after the break. Let me complete only one point, but extension we will start after the break. The only point, what is the meaning of relevant date? Relevant date means the date on which Eway Bill has been generated and the period of the validity shall be counted from the time at which Eway Bill has been generated, and each day shall be counted as the period expiring at midnight. For example, 24th March, I have generated the Eway Bill at 10 a.m. Distance is 180 kilometer. It is valid for 1 day. So it will be expired on 25th March. It will expire on 25th March. But at what time? Will it be 10 a.m.? Answer is no. It will remain valid till the midnight of expiring date. It means the date on which Eway Bill has been generated and the period of the validity shall be counted. Period of the validity shall be counted at which Eway Bill has been generated. Each day shall be counted as the period expiring at midnight of the day. Suppose an Eway Bill is generated 12/4 on 14th March. Eway Bill first would end on 12th midnight of 15th, 16th March. Second day will be ended on 12th midnight of 16th, 17th March. I hope it is clear. You may ask any question, but we'll take the break of 10 minutes. We will resume at 7:30. First, I will discuss all your doubt, all your question, and then we will start from this particular point, extension. So we will take the break for 10 minutes and then we'll start. First, I will discuss your query and then we'll start the extension of the validity period. Thank you. So there are certain query. First, I will discuss the queries. The query number 1, if the goods are delivered at wrong place, then you need to again pick the goods from that wrong place and deliver the correct place. But for that, you should ensure your e-way bill has to be there. Rohan Jain, if e-way bill is generated at 8 p.m. of 14th March, distance is 100 kilometer. No problem. It would be valid till 15th March and it would be valid 15th March midnight. That is 12. So normally if we say 12 midnight, so normally we will quote as between 15th, 16th March. So I can say, normally I can say 14th March you have generated. Correct. It will be valid for till 15th March. It will be valid till 15th March. And time would be till the midnight of 15th March. Is it clear? Rohan Jain and Mansi, same question. Please both participant confirm. The next question is Nitin, consolidated e-way bill. Please explain once more time. No problem. Consolidated e-way bill is basically, I told you that it is consolidation with respect to the part B. One transporter carrying 100 consignment, for example, carrying 100 consignment in a one vehicle, and he has received only part A e-way bill. So what is the option? Either he can go and update the part B for each e-way bill, and second alternate would be he can consolidate the part B and generate the consolidated e-way bill EWB02. Is it clear, Nitin? Kindly confirm. Next question is 24 hours time limit. This is with respect to cancellation. This is with respect to cancellation of e-way bill, and cancellation of e-way bill when part A and part B both has been entered and complete e-way bill is there, and you need to cancel that e-way bill, it can be cancelled within 24 hours. If only part A, there is no meaning of cancellation, meaning reason the part A, it will be automatically expire after 15 days. If you not enter the part B detail, it will automatically archived by the e-way bill portal, by the government portal, because you have not updated the part B. So only part A is not the e-way bill at all. What is e-way bill when you add the part A and part B both? Please confirm. ODC, because Puja, ODC vehicle, the vehicle in which heavy weight is being, the vehicle which is carrying heavy weight, it will not go in the normal speed. It will be very slow. That is the reason. Sir, if it is expired e-way bill, then it can be detained. If GST officer catch that particular vehicle in which e-way bill is expired, then they can levy the penalty. Fine. So I am moving to the another part. So 200 kilometer, if it is a normal cargo, normal movement. ODC cargo, when you are carrying the particular goods, which is comparatively more size in the nature or more weight in the nature, and by putting that on a conveyance, your dimensional limit would exceed it. And that is the reason they have given the less distance, 20 kilometer one day. Can multiple vehicle number? No, only one vehicle number. Is there perishable goods? Then information in e-way bill will not match. Then what, sir? If there are perishable goods, then information in e-way bill will not match. So it has to be matched accordingly. So you are saying that in transit you are disposing of certain goods which are perishable in nature, is it? We are talking about the extension. So the question is, can Eway bill, if expired, will it be possible? It can be extended. Yes, in exceptional circumstances, it can be extended. If the validity expired, if the goods are not supposed to be moved, in general, the validity once expire, it cannot be extended normally, but there are two exceptions. Extension by the commissioner for certain goods and extension by the transporter. Commissioner, on the recommendation of the council by notification extend the validity of an Eway bill for certain category of the goods as may be specified. So commissioner has the power, they can specify the goods, and in that case it can be extended. If extension by the transporter, under circumstances of an exceptional nature including transshipment, the goods cannot be transported within the validity period of Eway bill, the transporter may extend after updating the details in the part B if required. It meaning thereby, like for example, there is a COVID period, certain cantonment zone are there, movement is not possible, correct? And suppose in case of a strike, or in case of there is a certain strike was there on, correct? In that case, the goods transportation cannot be further moved. In that case, even transporter can extend the validity period by putting the reason. Now the acceptance of Eway bill. So Eway bill, if supplier is generating information and putting the information in the part A has been furnished by the recipient or the transporter, see, the details of the Eway bill shall be made available to the counterparty. For example, I am a supplier and you are a customer. I am updating the part A. It will be communicated to you and the transporter. Suppose you are customer and you are generating the part A, therefore, and you are writing the GST number or transporter detail, it will automatically information would made available to me that yes, on your GST number, Eway bill is being prepared. Please explain second and fourth point of the distance. Second and fourth is simply saying, say 200 kilometer one day, extra kilometer one more day. Any part thereof, you will get one more extra day. Say for example, the total distance is 405 kilometer. So for 200 kilometer, it is one day. For every additional 200 kilometer, one extra day, or any part thereof, one extra day. That is the point. Similarly, for ODC cargo, they are saying 20 kilometer one day. For additional 20 kilometer, one extra day. If Eway bill is generated at 1 AM on 16th January, then it is valid till distance, assuming distance is say 100 kilometer. It is valid for one day. So what is the expiring date? 17th January, and 17th January till midnight. That is 12. Multimodal shipment. Again, when you go to the online portal, then it shows the multimodal shipment concept. Multimodal shipment means there is multi-mode is being used for movement of the goods. For example, there is a rail, there is an air, there is a road, but at least one leg would be shipped. One leg would be shipped. That is called as a multimodal concept, multimodal shipment. For calculating one day, Eway bill generation date has to be excluded. Yes. So if I'm generating on 16 and it is valid for one day, it means it is valid till 17. Time, not from time to time, it is valid on the expiring date till the midnight. No, there is no restriction, 24 hour, no. Earlier it was there 24 hour, and after that they are saying it is valid till the midnight. So it is normally beyond 24 hours. It is, if it is expired, then regenerate it is possible. Same Eway bill number? No, it is unique. Eway bill number would be unique. It will be different. If Eway bill is generated on 1 PM, it is valid. Who will bear the penalty, transporter or supplier? Depend upon the agreement. Depend upon the agreement. So if I have the agreement that with the transporter, that if any non-compliances from your part and if there is any penalty you will bear, then normally will the supplier. Otherwise, the person who is the owner of the goods who will bear the penalty, but it purely depend upon the agreement. I hope it is clear. Multimodal shipment, Hiralal, I mean to say, that, for example, I'm moving the goods, say from Calcutta to Banaras. Calcutta to Banaras. We know there is a ship also. It is possible by ship also. So initially from my location to that particular starting location of the ship, I am moving the goods first by road or by rail and one by ship. So if any one leg, so there is more than one mode in movement of the goods. There is more than one mode in movement of the goods. More than one mode means by rail, by air, by ship, but at least one leg should be there, that is ship. Fine, let me move further so that we can complete also the discussion. Now, they are saying 72 hours. So we have discussed 24 hours. It is the time limit of cancellation of Eway bill, 15 days for updating the part B, and third is 72 hours for rejections. 72 hours for rejections. In case the person to whom the information is made available does not communicate his acceptance or rejection. So if I am generating the Eway bill and suppose you are my customer and I put your GST number, then it is okay. Wrongly, instead of you, I have put the GST number of another person and he does not like to accept. He has the time limit to reject the Eway bill within 72 hours or time of the delivery of the goods, whichever is earlier. Either goods has been delivered or 72 hours, whichever is earlier, he can cancel, he can reject. So we have discussed three words: cancellation, rejection, and updation. Cancellation, part A and part B both are added, then within 24 hours it can be cancelled. Part A and B cancel. And what is the rejection? The counterparty has the option to reject the Eway bill within 72 hours from the generation, or the goods has been delivered, whichever is earlier. What is the time limit of updation? Part A has been added, part B is not added. So in between, you have the maximum time limit of the 15 days. Whether Eway bill generated in one state is valid in another state? Yes. The Eway bill generated under this rule or rule 138, it can be valid in the every state and union territory. Situation where Eway bill is not required to be generated, very, very important. This is rule 138 sub rule 14. This is rule 138 sub rule 14. So first, there are multiple clauses. First, when the goods are being transported is belongs to below category. Clause A talking about LPG for household, non-domestic exempted category customer. Kerosene oil, postal baggage, natural, culture pearl, precious or semi-precious stone, precious metal or metal clad with precious metal. So because it is a precious metal, so Eway bill not required. Jewelry, currency, used personal goods. Please note, used personal goods and coral, uncoral, and worked coral. So in this case, Eway bill is not required. Clause A. There are multiple clauses we are discussing. What we are discussing? We are discussing where Eway bill is not required. Clause B. When the goods are being transported in the non-motorized conveyance. I am moving the goods on the cart, bull cart, or my goods is being moved from one location to the another location on cycle rickshaw. Not e-rickshaw, cycle rickshaw, or by person himself, by labor, they are carrying the goods, or my nearby shop is purchasing the goods of 51,000. I am delivering by hand. In all such a situation, when there is a movement of the goods is not through non-motorized, not through motorized. If it is moved through non-motorized vehicle, then there is no requirement of Eway bill. When the goods are being transported within the custom port, custom airport, air cargo, land custom station, inland container depot, etc., no requirement of Eway bill. This is giving the power to the state. They can decide their own the limitation, relaxation of Eway bill for intrastate movement. This is important. For example, in Bihar earlier, they are saying we will not need Eway bill. We will not need Eway bill of the value of the goods, say 2 lakh. Now it has been reduced to the 1 lakh. Normally, if it is an interstate movement of the goods, value of the goods should be more than 50,000. Then it is necessary to generate the Eway bill. But within the state has the power to change the limit. Like Gujarat is saying within the city, there is no need of movement. Rajasthan is saying within the district, there is no movement. There is movement of the goods within the district, no requirement of e-way bill. So likewise, there are different situations. Likewise, there are different provisions. State can change their provision, but only for the intrastate movement. So for that is the always, if the goods are within the state movement, you has to refer the state rule 138. When the goods are exempted, if the goods are exempted, someone has asked the question, sir, what about the total value is exempted? Total goods are exempted. What would be the consignment value? According to the rule 138, sub rule 14, clause E, if the goods are exempted, then there is no requirement of e-way bill. Only one item they have excluded, de-oiled cake is exempted item, but they need to track the movement. Therefore, they are saying, yes, e-way bill is required. When the goods non-taxable supplies, alcoholic liquor and petrol, alcoholic liquor for human consumption, petrol include HSD, motor spirit, natural gas, aviation turbine fuel, etc. If the supply is being specified in the schedule 3, the supply is being treated as no supply in the schedule 3, negative list, correct? The supply of the goods which are being mentioned in the schedule 3, for that there is no requirement of e-way bill. When the goods are being transported, under custom bonded from inland ICD or custom freight station to a custom port, airport, air cargo complex, like from and to. Earlier we have discussed from custom port to other, and here we are discussing ICD to the custom port. Within the custom area, the movement does not require e-way bill. If the goods are being transported as transit cargo from or to Nepal or Bhutan, then you are not required e-way bill. So for the safety and security purpose, they are saying one notification 7 is saying that supply the goods by CSD to the unit run canteen of Air Force. If the goods are being moved by the CSD to the URC unit run canteen or authorized customer, supply by the unit run canteen to authorized customer, in that case, because it is of Air Force, they are saying no e-way bill is required. Similarly, they have exempted Department of the Atomic Energy to the Nuclear Power Corporation of India. Their movement would also be in the exempted category. Any movement of the goods by the defense formation under Ministry of the Defense is also under exempted category. If the movement of the goods is by central government, state government, it is also being exempted. But please note, if the goods are being moved by the rail, it is not being exempted if the government are moving the goods by road, where the empty cargo container are being transported. I have sent the goods to my customer along with container. I have put the stock. I have put the goods. Now this goods has been delivered and empty cargo are coming back. Do I need to generate the e-way bill if only empty container are coming? Answer is no. Is there any relaxation? Suppose supplier A is sending the goods to B. Supplier A is sending the goods to B. Supplier A is sending the goods to B and say distance is 1 kilometer. Whether e-way bill is required? Answer is yes. There is no relaxation with respect to the movement if the goods are being sold. But there is a relaxation of 20 kilometers. What is that relaxation? When the goods are being transported up to the distance of 20 kilometers. What is the purpose? From the place of the business to the consignor, to the weighbridge or weighment, or from weighbridge back to the principal. So for example, Mr. A is manufacturing certain item and he has to deliver the goods to Mr. B. But before that, A has to weight the truck, weight the goods. Then A will send the truck to the weighbridge first, and then truck will come back and then it will be moved to B. Only for the weighment purpose, goods is being moved and distance is only 20 kilometers. it should be supported by the delivery challan. If the goods are being moved, for the purpose of weighbridge, weighment purpose, consigner from the place of the business of the consigner to the weighbridge, then there is no requirement of the e-way bill, provided it should be supported by the delivery challan, where empty cargo, empty cylinder of the packing of the LPG gas are being moved from the region other than supply, then there is no requirement of e-way bill. So before moving to the rule 138A, let me discuss certain question. If you have certain question, let me discuss. So the question is, PDS, what is the full form of the PDS? So normally it is public distribution system, but I don't think it is any relevance in the GST e-way bill topic. So where we have discussed this PDS, or normally you are asking, Sunil Dubey, can you please explain acceptance of e-way bill? So the time limit is 72 hours. 72 hours means supplier has generated the e-way bill, then customer can reject the e-way bill within 72 hours or making the delivery of the goods. Suppose the distance is only 100 kilometers, validity is 24 hours. So can he reject even still 72 hours? No. Answer is 72 hours from the generation or making the delivery of the goods, whichever is earlier. Sandeep, please give the example of other than ODC cargo. Other than ODC cargo. Simply, for example, you purchase the goods, any material from Delhi, and that goods will be moved from Delhi to Haryana. Then it is normal cargo, normal vehicle. It means other than ODC cargo. It is within the prescribed limit of the weight. The weight is within the prescribed limit of motor vehicle. Then this cargo would be called as normal cargo other than ODC cargo. Weighbridge exemptions again. So the exemption is when I am sending the goods only for the weighment to the weighbridge. When the supplier consignor is sending the goods to the weighbridge and the goods are coming back after the weighment, distance is the two requirement. Distance within 20 kilometers and second supported by the delivery challan, no requirement of e-way bill for that. De-oil cake, it is a byproduct of petroleum products. When we are something, so for that they are saying yes, we need to make the e-way bill. They are not relaxing. Weighbridge means dharam kanta, namrata, dharam kanta for the weighment. Achha, kerosene oil under DP. Okay. Public distribution system. So in the normally we see that the people are getting the kerosene, certain limit is there from the public distribution PDS. So free kerosene is being distributed. Then it is relaxed, no e-way bill. Why he will reject the e-way bill as the bill is being issued? He has placed order. Assume Sunil Dubey ji, assume that the bill is being issued to B, and instead of putting the B, wrongly it has been entered of C. Wrongly the GST number is being entered of Mr. C. So C can reject. If everything is okay, then no problem. Coral is a basically to the extent of my knowledge, it is a basically precious material. Stone is there. It is a stone. Sir, if it is required exempted goods interstate sale, if it is required exempted goods, see, only exempted goods. If it is a de-oiled cake, then only e-way bill is required. For rest, all other exempted goods, no e-way bill is required. Now I can move to the rule 138A. The person in charge of the conveyance shall carry. Now you can expect the question The person in charge means driver. The person in charge of a conveyance, you can understand the driver of that particular truck should carry invoice or bill of supply or delivery challan, as the case may be, and copy of the e-way bill in physical form or in electronic form or in mapped to the RFID. What is the meaning of RFID? What is the meaning of RFID? Nidhi Parekh, please explain point J. See, there are exemption from tax. So there are two transactions which is exempted. The separate notification is there, CSD to the unit run canteen, and second is supply the heavy water and nuclear fuel by the Department of Atomic Energy. So defense and nuclear power, these all are very secret. Correct, na? It cannot be communicated to all. That is the reason in these cases they are saying there is no requirement of e-way bill. Okay, so in such case the rejection time is 72. Non-motorized means like bull cart, which the movement cycle rickshaw. So the goods are moved, but it does not have any motor. What is weighbridge? Sandeep Sandhu, I have already explained. Weighbridge means dharam kanta, weighment. For certain goods, you need to take the weight of that particular entire truck. Correct, na? So it should be weighted. The person in charge of the conveyance shall carry the invoice or bill of supply or delivery challan, as the case may be, in the copy of e-way bill. E-way bill ka copy can be carried in physical form or in electronic form or in RFID. What is the meaning of RFID? RFID full form is radio frequency identification device used for the identification. So there would be some barcoding type machine in which you can carry that. The conveyance should have that machine that should RFID tag, and you can map that e-way bill number with that RFID. No, as of now, it is not yet available. This is only the provisions. Invoice reference number in lieu of the tax invoice. Now it is interlinking. Now this is interlinking with e-invoice. In case e-invoice is issued, QR code having embedded IR number in it may be produced electronically for verification. If e-invoice is applicable, not necessary you should carry the hard copy of the invoice. You can provide electronically for the verification in lieu of the physical copy of the tax invoice. Document in lieu of e-way bill. Where circumstances so warrant, the commissioner may by notification require the person in charge of the conveyance to carry the following document instead of e-way bill. So commissioner has the power to exempt in certain case. When it can exempt, based on the notification, it will specify the criteria that tax invoice or bill of supply or bill of entry or delivery challan. It can be carried instead of the e-way bill. But what are those situations not yet notified? It can be notified and vary from state to state. If there is a single invoice for the goods, but such goods cannot be transported by road in a single vehicle, but require multiple vehicles, would separate e-way bill would be required. A single multiple vehicle number cannot be filled. Abhishek, absolutely correct. If you go back to the registration class, wherein I have explained in the rule 55, I have explained the concept of movement of the goods in SKD or CKD or lots or batch. You are absolutely correct. It will be covered in the rule 55. You need to prepare the multiple delivery challan, and then according to the each delivery challan, you should have been e-way bill if the value of the consignment is exceeding 50,000. Rule 138B, verification of the document and conveyance. The commissioner or an officer empowered by him in this behalf may authorize the officer to intercept any conveyance to verify the e-way bill in the physical or electronic or RFID reader is installed at the place. So it is not being installed, but commissioner shall get RFID reader installed at a place where the verification is required to be carried out by such RFID devices. So this is rule 138B. So rule 138, what document need to be carried? Rule 138A, document and device to be carried by the person in charge of the conveyance. So tax invoice, bill of supply or delivery challan or bill of entry. and it should be a copy of the invoice and should be copy of the EV bill. EV bill can be in the physical form, can be electronic form, can be in mapped to the RFID devices. Correct. And rule 138B, proper officer has the power to intercept the vehicle and check the EV bill, whether it is proper or not, everything he can verify with the goods also. Inspection and verification of the goods. Now, once he will intercept the goods and he is doing the inspection, in that case, summary report. This is in the form of EWB03. Summary report of every inspection in transit shall be recorded online by the proper officer in the part A within 24 hours and part B within 3 days. So EWB03, basically I can say verification report to be submitted by the proper officer online. The form number is EWB03. It has also part A and part B. It has also part A and part B. Part A to be completed within 24 hours. Part B can be completed within 30 days. And sufficient cause being shown, it can be extended by another period of 3 days. Sunil Dubey, we have discussed the same in the delivery challan in the last class. So rule 55, if the tax invoice is one, multiple vehicle is being used for movement of the goods, you need to prepare multiple delivery challan and then generate the e-way bill for each delivery challan separately. For more detail, you can refer the registration chapter class. The recording is available and you can refer the recording. In the last, we have discussed the requirement of the delivery challan in case of the CKD, SKD condition or batch or lot. Nidhi Parekh, I think point J is clear. They are relaxing certain point wherein CSD to unit run canteen, that is of Air Force, defense or nuclear power movement, they are saying no requirement of the e-way bill, and the purpose is very simple because of the security. Facility for uploading the information regarding the detention of the vehicle. Suppose vehicle is being detained, correct? Then where a vehicle has been intercepted and detained for a period of more than 30 minutes, then transporter have the facility to upload such information on the specified form, that is EWB04 on the common portal. Now, blocking of e-way bill, very, very important from exams. Very, very important from exams, that once in the below situation, your e-way bill generation facility would be blocked. It means if you covered in any of the situation, you cannot generate the e-way bill. What are the situation? Blocking of e-way bill generation facility means disabling the taxpayer from generating the e-way bill. A user will not be able to generate the e-way bill for a GSTIN if the GSTIN is not eligible for e-way bill generation as per Rule 138. What are those situations? Let me discuss. Whether the below person are the supplier or the customer, a person paying the tax under composition scheme has not furnished the statement for payment of the self-assessed tax for 2 consecutive quarters. If the CMP 08, that is composition dealer, need to furnish this and it has not been furnished for more than 2 consecutive quarters, a person paying the tax under regular scheme has not furnished the return for consecutive 2 tax period. So the return we will discuss in the last class. But what are the consequences? The composition dealer is there and he has not filled the CMP 08 for 2 consecutive quarters because it is quarterly. And normal regular scheme person has not furnished the return for 2 consecutive tax period. Now, third, a person paying the tax under regular scheme has not furnished the GSTR1 for any 2 month or quarter as the case may be. And last, a person whose registration has been suspended under Rule 21 capital A. Detention of the vehicle means proper officer is stopping your vehicle and they like to verify the e-way bill. They like to verify the goods which is being moved, transported. So these 4 situations are important. Why it is important? Thus, if any person, whether it is a supplier or the recipient, is covered in any of the 4 situations, e-way bill generation facility would be blocked. It is very, very important from theory perspective. What are those situations? First, composite dealer not furnish the CMP 08, that is statement of the payment for 2 consecutive quarter. Person paying the tax under regular not furnish the return for 2 consecutive tax period. Then GSTR1 is not being furnished for 2 months or the quarter last, just GST number is suspended. However, commissioner or JC jurisdictional commissioner may, on the receipt of an application from registered person in prescribed form, on sufficient cause being shown. See, there are genuine hardship is there. Then he can request to the commissioner, he can open the Eway Bill facility for the reason to be recorded in writing by order in prescribed form, allowing furnishing of the said information in the part A of EW01 subject to the prescribed condition and restriction. So meaning thereby in this situation, commissioner has the power to unblock your Eway Bill generation facility. They can unblock, but they will record your right. They will record the reason. They will record the reason why you are not able to generate or not able to file the return, etc., not able to pay the taxes. And if it is sufficient, then they will allow. But opportunity of the being heard would always be given. What is the opportunity of the being heard? It means suppose Mr. A is requesting to the commissioner, then commissioner has to listen to Mr. A. What is the opportunity of the being heard? That whenever the notice, whenever the negative is being made for any taxpayer, then at least option should be given to heard. Option should be given that yes, what are the reason why you are not able to file, why you are not covered in, why you are not able to file the return, pay the taxes, suspended, etc. The genuine reason is there. Yes, it may be noted that transportation by railway, transportation of goods by railway, transportation of goods by rail, and movement of the goods by rail used in the previous discussion does not include the case where the leasing of the parcel space by railway take place. So sometime railway giving the space on the leasing, that will not be covered. So by this rule 55A, tax invoice or bill of supply to accompany the transportation of goods. Person in charge of the conveyance shall carry the copy of the tax invoice or bill of the supply issued in accordance with the provision of rule 46, 46A, 49, where such person is not required to carry an Eway bill under these rules. So because of any reason, there is no requirement of Eway bill. For example, if I am moving complete exempted item, then would I be required to carry the Eway bill? Answer is no. Then it has to be accompanied by the proper document. For rule 46, 46A, 49, all these rules we have discussed in the last class. Any question you can ask, and then I will cover up certain point. Let me ask certain question also. We will cover certain points. So one point is that what is the difference between Eway bill and e-invoice? What is the difference between Eway bill and e-invoice? I am asking the question, you please give the reply. We will cover up this point, difference between e-invoice and Eway bill. It is not covered in the syllabus, but for curiosity purpose, only for your knowledge purpose, I am giving the reply because certain participant has asked the question. Question number 1. Point number difference 1. What is the threshold limit for generating the Eway bill? E-invoice. What is the threshold? Is there any threshold limit that if the threshold limit is crossed beyond this amount, then only e-invoice is applicable? Any threshold limit is applicable? You all give the answer. You all give the answer. You all please give the answer. E-invoice, whether applicable to the all taxpayer, whether applicable to the all taxpayer, or there is certain threshold limit. Give me the answer. It is the revision of e-invoice also and Eway bill also. Please give me the answer. Is there any threshold limit? Is there any threshold limit which is applicable? Is there any threshold limit which is applicable? Yes, we are doing the revision only. Rest to be sure. Yes, Rohan has confirmed 50 crore in any preceding financial year. Tell me, is there any threshold limit that only those categories the person can generate the Eway bill, or it is applicable to the all registered person if the goods are if the value of the goods are 50,000 or greater than 50,000. Now tell me, for supply of the service, if I am making the, suppose e-invoice provision is applicable to me, e-invoice provision is applicable to me, very appreciated. You all are very active. Now give me the answer. If e-invoice provision is applicable to me and my transaction is supply of the service, should I prepare the e-invoice or not? Whether e-invoice to be made for supply of the service, whether e-invoice is made for the supply of service, answer would be yes. Whether it is a goods or services, the e-invoice would be applicable. If you are having the aggregate turnover more than 50 crore, then you need to generate the e-invoice, whether it is a goods or services in every case. But tell me, for the Eway bill, is it required? In case the transaction is supply of the service, whether we need to generate the Eway bill. If the transaction is supply of the service, should we need to generate the Eway bill? If the transaction is supply of the service, should we need to generate the Eway bill? Answer is no, it is only for goods. Not for service. It is only for goods, not for service. Value, invoice value. Say if the invoice value is less than 50,000, just forgot the exception. If I will say if my invoice value is less than 50,000, do I need to generate the e-invoice? And please also tell, do I need to generate the Eway bill? Okay. So if the invoice value is less than 50,000, it is immaterial. If e-invoice provision is applicable, we need to prepare e-invoice. But in case of the Eway bill, if the value of the goods is not more than 50,000, consignment value is not more than 50,000, Eway bill not applicable. Jay Gandhi, please confirm. I have made the box. Is box is visible to all? It is not coming on my face and etc. So I will write within that limit. Is it okay? So I will write within this limit only. Yes, sir. Okay. Left. It is okay. Okay. This box is visible to everyone. Fine. I'll ensure. Fine. So I am saying further point. So we have covered certain points. Who can make the document in e-invoice and in Eway bill? We have discussed Eway bill can be generated by the supplier or by recipient or by transporter, but e-invoice can only be generated, can only be made by the supplier. Give me the confirmation. Till now, is it clear? Is it clear now? Next point, that impact in GST return. Impact in GST return. Impact in GST return. The e-invoice, whatever the supplies you have made, it will be reported in the GSTR1. But Eway bill not required to be reported in GSTR1. Only the invoice would be reported, which is the supply would be reported. Suppose you are moving the goods other than supply, then you will not require to report the same in the GST return. Suppose supply and suppose no supply, non-GST supply. There are relaxation if the transaction is non-GST supply. There are relaxation if there is a schedule 3 supply, but you have to prepare the e-invoice. You have to prepare the e-invoice. Almost we have discussed 7-8 differences. I hope it is clear to all. Kindly confirm. We can move to the further quick question and answer. Further quick question and answer. Should we start quick question and answer? Any point you like to explain? Ask. Please ask any question if you have. Then otherwise, I will start the quick revision of this chapter. If you have any doubt, any question, please ask. Otherwise, I will start the quick revision, quick question, certain round of the question. Only one point I have left. Only one point I have left, which I need to explain. Only one point I have left. What is the point which I have left? Rule 138 sub rule 3 proviso and rule 138 sub rule 5 proviso. That part I have left, I will complete right now. So normally, yes. Thank you, Namrata. Eway bill can voluntarily be generated, but e-invoice is not voluntarily applicable. Super. Now, one point I have left, I am covering right now. Can I move the goods without part B? Please tell me, can I move the goods without part B? If I have not filled the part B, can I move the goods without part B? Answer would be no. Answer would be no. But there are two exceptions. One we will read in 138.3 proviso to the 138.3 and proviso to 138.5. We will read one exception. Normally I will definitely take Puja rest to be sure. Yes, advantage, Sunil, I will e-invoice advantage we have discussed. Eway bill advantage I will cover. Difference will not be asked in the question. Part B, without generating the part B, can I move the goods? Prima facie, primary answer is no. If you are supplying the goods to your customer, you cannot move unless and until you fill the part B. What is the exception? See, listen. If three conditions are satisfied, if you are moving the goods from your principal place to the transporter place for further transportation, and distance is within 50 kilometers and same state. So like suppose Mr. A is a supplier, he has received the order from Mr. B, he now moved to the goods to B. But how he will move? A will send the goods first to the transporter, and then transporter will send the goods to Mr. B. If this is the case, then A can move the goods to the transporter if the distance is within 50 kilometers, same state. If the distance is within 50 kilometers, same state, movement is from principal place of the business to the transporter place, then part B is relaxed. And if part B is relaxed, one information become mandatory. What is that information? GSTIN number or transporter ID. Repeating again, important. Normally, if I am supplying the goods, if I am sending the goods from my place to the customer place, whether part B is mandatory, answer is yes. Without part B, I cannot move the goods, assuming value is more than 50,000. There is one exception, that if the goods are being moved from the principal place of the business of consignor to the transporter, distance within 50 kilometer, state are same. Without part B, you can move the goods, but you have to enter the GST number of the transporter or the transporter ID Correct. Now I am discussing 138.5. So what is the 138.5 proviso? A has sent the goods to the transporter. Transporter has sent the goods to B. In that case, we have discussed 138.3. There is no requirement of part B for movement of the goods by principal place of the business of A to the transporter. Now see, transporter has to deliver the goods to B, but first he has delivered the goods to the main transport area, transport location, and then further vehicle is being changed. In that case also, part B not required to be updated. If state are same and distance is within 50 kilometer. Let me go back to the main institute notes. So this is the point which I like to explain, that when it is not mandatory to furnish the detail in part B. Details of the conveyance may not be furnished for a distance up to 50 kilometers within the state if the goods are moved to the transporter from the place of the business of the consignor to the place of the business of the transporter for further transportation, or from the place of the business of the transporter finally to the place of the consignee. These are the two exceptions. Distance 50 kilometers, state same. Let me do some quick revision. Is it okay? Everything is completed. Now ask any question. Otherwise, I will move to the quick question. 10-15 minutes. Today we have the sufficient time. To have the quick revision. Is it okay? Question number 1. Within how many hours we can cancel the Eway bill? Time limit to cancel the Eway bill. Time limit to cancel the Eway bill. Time limit to cancel the Eway bill. We have to cover this also. We have left this question. We have to cover this also. What is the time limit to cancel the Eway bill? Right answer is 24 hours. 24 hours. Now give the answer for question number 1. Whether it is correct or not correct. Once generated Eway bill cannot be cancelled. Is it correct or not correct? Give me the answer whether the statement is correct or not correct. Statement is correct or not correct? Statement is correct or not correct? The answer is whether a statement is correct or not correct. Once generated Eway bill cannot be cancelled. It is not correct. Why? Because we have discussed within 24 hours it can be cancelled. Next question. Eway bill generated in one state is valid in another state. Eway bill generated in one state is valid for another state. This is Eway bill is valid for pan India. It is valid for every part of India. It is valid for every part of India. Yes, question 1 is not correct and question B is correct. Absolutely correct. Great. Question number 2. What are the documents which can be carried by the person in charge of the conveyance instead of Eway bill? What are the documents can be carried by the person in charge of the conveyance instead of the e-way bill who is authorized to provide the permission? That's the second part. Please read the question, give me the answer. What are the documents which can be carried by the PIC, person in charge of the conveyance, instead of e-way bill, and who is authorized to provide the permission for such case? Yes, it can be the tax invoice or copy of tax invoice or bill of supply or delivery challan, and who is commissioner is authorized. Next question: which document required in case of the movement of the goods? So the consignment value is 1,05,000 for reason other than supply. Which document? The correct answer is e-way bill. We know. Next question: it is mandatory to furnish the details of conveyance in Part B of e-way bill. Comment on the validity of the above statement with the reference to the provision of e-way bill. It is mandatory to furnish the details of conveyance in the Part B. Answer is yes. You have to provide the mode of transportation and you have to provide the vehicle number and document number. You have to provide the vehicle number, document number, and mode. Is it by road, by rail, and category also? Is it normal or other over dimensional cargo? Over dimensional cargo. Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. So till question 4, I hope there is no problem. Give me the quick confirmation. Till question 4, I hope there is no problem. Give me the quick confirmation. Please tell me, transporter trans ID is for the registered transporter or unregistered transporter? Please tell me, trans ID or trans IS, trans ID is for the registered transporter or unregistered transporter? Transporter ID, I'm asking. I'm asking transporter ID. Transporter ID is for the registered transporter or unregistered transporter? Please give me the answer. Are we all okay that if we extend the time till 9 o'clock? I have completed the chapter, but still I like the revision. I like, if you all agree, then I will do the revisions till 9 o'clock. Kindly confirm. Is it okay if we extend the class till 9 o'clock and do some more revision of e-way bill and tax invoice chapter combined? Only unregistered. The answer is only unregistered, because registered will have the GST number. Why he will go for transporter ID? Transporter ID would only be required if the transporter is not having the GST number. So the right answer is unregistered transporter. Absolutely correct. Not for registered, only for registered. Absolutely correct. Next question. ABC Limited generating e-way bill on 12th Feb at 14 hours. It used ODC cargo for a distance of 100 km when the validity period of the e-way bill will expire. Yes, very good question. ABC Limited has generated the e-way bill on 12th Feb at 2 p.m. Now, please tell, if the distance is 100 km and it is a dimensional cargo, what would be the validity period when the e-way bill would be expired? What is the correct option? When the e-way bill will expire? A, B, C or D? ABC Limited generated the e-way bill on 12th Feb at 14 hours. It used ODC cargo for distance of 100 km. When the validity period of the e-way bill will expire? The answer is 5B. Because what is the ODC cargo? ODC cargo, when we are carrying the goods, which is single indivisible unit, and dimensional limit of that motor vehicle is being exceeded. What is the validity period? 20 km 1 day. It is 100 kilometers, so 5 days. Add on 12th Feb, I am adding 5 days. It means 17th Feb. So 17th Feb, midnight of the 17th, that would be the 18th also. You can say 18th is starting, 17th adding. Midnight of the 17th, 18th. So right answer is option B. Next is Agni Limited, registered supplier, wished to transport a cargo by road between two cities situated the distance of 368 km. Calculate the validity period of e-way bill for the transportation of said cargo if it is ODC or otherwise. First, tell me, if it is ODC cargo, how much days it will valid? If the distance is 368, please tell me. Namrata, right? Namrata, right. Question 5, answer would be B. We have discussed. So absolutely, Sunil Dubey have given the correct reasoning also. Question 6, almost same. If it is ODC cargo, 20 km 1 day. So 368, you can divide. It will be valid for how many days? Distance is 368 km. If the cargo is ODC cargo, if the goods are being moved in the ODC cargo, please tell me what would be the validity period. And if it is non-ODC cargo, then what would be the validity period? So I can say if it is ODC cargo, it will be the 20 km 1 day. So total distance 368 km divided by 20. So I can say 18 point something. So it means the validity would be 19 days. 360 km, it would be 18 days, and any part thereof, it would be extra 1 day. So 18 plus 1, total 19 days. And if it is other than ODC cargo, normal cargo, other than ODC cargo, then what is the validity period? 200 km per day. 200 km per day. The distance is 368 km. I can say 2 days it would be valid. So it is not being asked the particular date. So they are asking how much time period it is valid. I hope it is clear to all. Yes. Harsh Goyal, absolutely correct. You have correctly calculated 19 days. And Chaitanya, absolutely correct, 200 per day. So therefore it is 2 days. Sunil Dubey, it required 19 days. Absolutely. Vedant, ODC 18 days. If not ODC, then on every 200 km 24 hours. Vedant, there is no concept of 24 hours. Every 200 km it is 1 day. So because it is 368, so it will be 2 days. I hope you got the point. Sushil Kumar Barik, you cannot say approx, exact number of days. Exact number of the days, 19 days. Because it has some parts, so 1 extra day would be there. 1 extra day would be there. So 18 days plus 1 day, so 19 days. Exactly 19 days. And if it is not ODC, because distance is 200 km per day, for distance is 368. So first 200 kilometer, it is 1 day, and additional 200 kilometer or any part thereof 1 extra day. So what would be the validity? 2 days. I hope it is clear to all. Moving to the next question. Yes, and company manufactured the plastic goods registered under GST in the state of Maharashtra. It sold the plastic goods to a retailer seller in the Punjab at a value of 43,000 excluding GST. Now it sent the consignment of the plastic goods to the retail seller in the Punjab. Just tell me in this case whether Eway bill is mandatorily required or not. Very good question. Very good question. You tell me whether Eway bill in this case is required or not. The value of the consignment is 43,000 excluding GST at the rate of 18%. Whether Eway bill would be required or not, very important question. No, it will not be counted. Vrinda Agarwal, it will not be counted. 19 days, it will not be. The day would be excluded. Particular date on which the goods are being transported, it will be excluded. Very good example. Very good example. If the value of the consignment 43,000 is moving the goods from Maharashtra to Punjab, value is 43,000 excluding GST, rate of the GST 18%. Is it required mandatorily or not? Is it required mandatorily or not? Very important question. Is it required mandatorily? 3 marks question. New syllabus. 3 mark question has been asked. This question has been asked in the exam. All these questions, either it will be in RTP or mock test paper, or in old syllabus it has been asked, or in the new syllabus it has been asked. Whatever the question I'm compiling, the question is being asked anywhere in the past. Rakesh Vyas, you are again second time focusing that interstate. There is no such a provision where inter or intra. Inter it is mandatory. No, inter it is mandatory only in 2 cases. If it is principal to the job worker and if it is handicraft goods by the casual taxable person, unregistered casual taxable person. These are the only 2 circumstances when it is mandatory, irrespective of any value. Otherwise, you have to check 50,000. You all are saying yes, required. You all are saying yes, required. Why it is required? Because it is excluding GST. We need to add GST. Then that if we add 18% GST, someone 50,740. The value comes 50,740, which is greater than 50,000. So mandatorily it is required. Because you need to explain the meaning of the consignment value. Meaning of the consignment value. Can anybody tell me which will be, which part would not be included in calculation of the consignment value? From this example, it is clear that we need to add the GST. We need to include the GST. My question is, which value would not be included in the consignment value? Which value would not be included in the consignment value? Which value would not be included in the consignment value? This is my question to all. Which value would not be included in the consignment value? Please tell me. Which value would not be included in the consignment value? Please tell me. The answer is if there is a single document for taxable as well as exempted item, then portion of the exempt supply will not be included in the consignment value. Correct. Next question. Explain the following terms regarding Eway bill under the relevant GST rule. You can explain the consolidated acceptance and rejection of Eway bill. What is the time limit to reject the Eway bill? What is the time limit to reject the Eway bill? if e-way bill is generated on the sharp 12 a.m. on the 16th January, obviously on the, so for example, it is 100 kilometers. So the next day, 17th midnight, it will be valid. So you can say if you are generating sharp 16th, you will add exactly 24 hours. If it is less up to 200 kilometers. Yes. All excellent, excellent. What is the rejection of e-way bill? What is the rejection time limit of e-way bill? Answer is 72 hours. What is 15 days? Sir, what is 15 days? We have discussed somehow. We have discussed something, the relevance of the 15 days. What is the relevance of the 15 days? Please tell me. What is the relevance of the 15 days? We have discussed something about 15 days. What is that? What is that 15 days? I'm forgot about that 15 days ka concept. Please tell me what is the 15 days? Please tell me what is the 15 days? Yes, Prinda, absolutely correct. Part A is already information is being added, but part B is not added. You can update the part B within 15 days. You can update the part B within 15 days. Please tell me that what are the exception wherein, what are the exception? Please tell me what are the exception wherein I am not required to add the part B, or I can be relaxed from adding the part B detail. What are the relaxation? What are the relaxation wherein I am not required to update part B or add part B detail mandatorily? Wherein I am not required to update or add the part B detail. Please tell me what are the exception wherein part B details are not mandatorily to be added. If you are sending the goods from place of the business to the transporter place, distance is 50 kilometer and within same state. Absolutely correct. Yeah. Appreciated, really appreciated. Hariharan, thank you so much. You given absolutely correct, absolutely full correct answer. There is not a single part which is incorrect. Place of the business to the transporter, distance 50 kilometer within the state. And or from transporter place to the ultimate consignee place. Second, to the ultimate consignee place, same 50 kilometers, same state. Then also not required to update the part B. Consignor hand over the goods to the transporter on the Friday to the transportation to the transporter Friday. However, assigned transporter start the movement from the consignor warehouse to its depot located at a distance of 600 kilometers on Monday. When will the e-way bill is generated? For how many days it will be valid? So I can explain. First, e-way bill would be generated. It can be generated when the movement is start by the transporter. Movement is start by the transporter. And it is valid for 3 days because the distance is 600 kilometers. Great, Anirudh. Absolutely correct answer. Absolutely right, Pooja. When the goods are moved from the consignor place to the transporter place. Right, Sunil Dubey. And Hiral Thakkar, goods from the principal place to the transport place within 50 kilometers, same state. Great. Sandeep, same things. Great. Vaishnavi, 24 hours. Okay, might be there's some gap. Mansa, within distance 50 kilometer, goods transported from consignment to the place of the transporter. Absolutely correct. Sushil Kumar, 15 days, part B is not updated, but part A updated within 15 days, part B updated. Absolutely correct. Vivek Dubey, all are correct. All are correct. Harsha Goyal, Hayasri, Hariharan, superb. Great. So it is valid for 3 days. So it can be so goods can be moved to the transporter on the basis of the part A. Part B can updated at a later on when the finally he is moving the goods, and validity would be 3 days. The last question of my slide. Last question of my slide. Mr. Sambhu, the trader registered under GST in Delhi, engaged in wholesale business of the toys for kids. Nandi, registered under GST in Patiala, regular return filer, supplies toys in bulk to Mr. Sambhu for selling to the end consumer. Mr. Sambhu, paying the tax in regular scheme in Delhi, has not filed the GSTR 3B for the last 2 months. Mr. Nandi want to generate the Eway bill to be supplied to Mr. Sambhu. Is it possible? Till now, is it possible? Is it possible to generate the Eway bill? Is it possible to generate the Eway bill? Uh, 138.3 Sirsa, right? Sirisa. The distance is from the principal place of the business of the supplier or consignor to the transporter place. Transporter place, not to the customer place. Ultimate consignee means where you need to deliver the goods. Your customer, normally your customer. Not possible. Why? Because he has been covered by rule 138E. He cannot furnish the Eway bill, cannot generate the Eway bill. The generation facility would be blocked if he has not filed the GST return for consecutive 2 months. Who has not filed? Mr. Nandi want to generate the Eway bill amounting to rupees 5 lakh to be supplied Mr. Sambhu. Mr. Sambhu has not filed. Correct. Mr. Sambhu is the defaulter. Now, next part, also Mr. Narayan from Jammu approached Mr. Sambhu for purchasing the toys amounting to 75,000 for the purpose of return gift on his son's first birthday. Sambhu want to generate Eway bill in respect of an outward supply the goods to Mr. Narayan. Examine the provision under GST law whether Mr. Nandi and Mr. Sambhu can generate the Eway bill. You have to give the reference of 138E. All the 4 concepts you please explain, then give the answer of this example. I hope it is clear to all. Absolutely correct. Let me ask 10-15 small question. There is one exception of which exempted item need Eway bill. One item is excluded, one exempted item is being excluded. Which item is there for which Eway bill is need to be generated? Item is exempted, but still we need to generate the Eway bill. It is not being relaxed. Please tell me the name of that item which need to be supported by Eway bill. Vedant 138E is talking about 138E is talking about that there are 4 circumstances in which E-way bill facility would be blocked. You cannot generate the e-way bill. First, if the supplier is composite dealer, if consignor is registered as a composite dealer and not paid the taxes for consecutive 2 quarters, there is a statement of the payment of the tax. Form number is CMP08 and it is not being filled by the consignor. Second, if it is a regular dealer, not filed the GST return for 2 consecutive periods. Third, if GSTR1 is not furnished for 2 consecutive month or 2 consecutive quarter. And fourth is if anybody tell me what is the fourth? Anybody tell me what is the fourth? If registration is suspended under Rule 21 capital A. In this fourth situation, neither supplier or recipient, anyone cannot generate the e-way bill. Suppose default is being made by the recipient. Can supplier generate the e-way bill for that recipient? Answer is no. Assume supplier is the defaulter. Can supplier generate the e-way bill? Answer is no. I hope it is clear. The answer is which exempted item is not relaxed from generating the e-way bill? That is de-oiled cake. Chaitanya, kindly confirm question number 10 is now clear. Vedant, kindly confirm 130 is now clear. Why milk? Vivek, why milk? Why vegetable? If any party is Mr. Sambhu, Sunil Dubey, your point is absolutely correct. Whether Mr. Sambhu is a supplier or whether Mr. Sambhu is a recipient, the e-way bill cannot be generated. E-way bill cannot be generated neither in the capacity of the recipient nor in the capacity of the supplier. So let me confirm so that I can move to the next point. Tell me the situation where Part B can be updated after movement. Tell me the situation where Part B can be updated after movement of the goods. Tell me the situation where Part B can be updated after the movement of the goods, not necessarily before the movement of the goods. And where they are saying, yes, before delivery, you have to furnish the complete e-way bill. Please tell me. Please tell me. The situation where Part B can be updated after movement of the goods, but before delivery, it is important. De-oiled cake is exempted, sir. It is given in the list of exempted item. It is not taxable. It is exempted. But for that, we need to generate the e-way bill because out of that relaxation, one part is being excluded. Railway vessel, yes. By rail, by air, by vessel. Yes, yes. Sushil Kumar, but still I need to explain the question 10. Chaitanya, reasoning is not correct. When truck is not in the good condition, no, reasoning is not correct. You cannot give this relaxation, this excuse that truck is not in good condition, so I have not generated the Part B. No, not possible. By road, except by road. If it is by rail, by air, or by vessel, then you can update the Part B after the moment. In case of railway, the person would not deliver the goods unless and until you will hand over the completed e-way bill. You can watch the video again, Sushil Kumar. I have explained 2 times. You can watch the video again. So the balance time can be used for effective purpose. Let me ask certain question with respect to tax invoice. If I have received the advance, which document will be issued? If I have received the advance, which document will be issued? If I have received the advance, which document I will issue? Quickly tell me. If I have received the advance, which document I will issue? Quickly, I am doing the revision. Quickly, I am doing the revision of invoice accounts and record chapter. If I am receiving the advance, which document I will issue? If I am receiving the advance, which document I will issue? The answer is receipt voucher. In case of the continuous supply of the goods, in case of the continuous supply of the goods, the supply should be continue for how many days? In case of the continuous supply of the goods, supply should be continue for how many days? 0 days. Any days which is being prescribed for the continuous supply of the goods? Any days which is being prescribed for the continuous supply of the goods? Any days which is being prescribed for the continuous supply of the goods? Any days which is being prescribed for the continuous supply of the goods? Any days which is being prescribed for the continuous supply of the goods? Sushil Kumar Barik, there is no relaxation for intra-state movement within 50 km. We need to check the respective state. Otherwise, there is no relaxation. Is there any number of days which should be continued to treat the transaction as a continuous supply of the goods? Answer is no. Answer is no. There is no requirement. There is no minimum time period within which it should be continued. It should be continued. Then only we can say the continuous supply of the goods. No, sir. There is 90 days mentioned in the continuous supply of service. The dynamic QR code is applicable if registered, if the supplier is having the aggregate turnover, if the supplier is having the aggregate turnover dash 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 in any of the preceding financial year. Yes, you can say 3 months. That is in the last question. You can say 3 months for services. My question is for dynamic QR code, it is applicable on those category of the supplier whose aggregate turnover dash 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 in any of the preceding financial year. What is the threshold limit? What is the turnover limit? If exceeding, then only I would be covered under the dynamic QR code. Dynamic QR code, I would be covered under the dynamic QR code if my turnover exceed, if my aggregate turnover exceed, the right answer is 500 crore. If my aggregate turnover exceed 500 crore, then only I would be covered by dynamic QR code. Last question for the day. Last question. Namrata, yes, it is reaching, but it's very late. It's very late. Namrata, I'm receiving your answer, but it's very late. Dynamic QR code. Last question for the day. Last question for the day. In case of e-invoice, in case of e-invoice, certain categories are being exempted from e-invoice requirement. Please tell me any one category of relaxation who are not required to be compulsory generate the e-invoice. There are 4-5 categories we have discussed. There are 6 categories, rather I should say 6 categories. We have discussed that in the 6th category, you can mention any one category which are being relaxed from e-invoicing requirement. That is my last question for the day. You can answer, then we can conclude our today class. Yes, I have received one right answer. Rohan Jain. Namrata, absolutely correct. Goods non-limit, but services exceeding 3 months. Now I have received your answer. So there is some gap. Rohan Jain, SEZ, absolutely correct. SEZ unit, correct. Banking, insurance, absolutely correct. Vrinda, why you are saying payment voucher? I think you are, no, there is some wrong answer. Or maybe of previous question. Hariharan, SEZ unit, Chaitanya, SEZ unit, Tanu, SEZ unit. Tell me some more. Tell me some more. Even the existing participant was given the one can add one more. This is the last question, that any one situation wherein e-invoice provision is not applicable. Please tell me. GTA, local authority, yes. Harsh Goyal, SEZ unit, GTA insurance, absolutely Pooja, correct. Kamar Chaudhary, yes. Passenger transportation services, government, Rakesh Vyas, absolutely. SEZ unit, B2C, superb. Rekha, you have given the right reasoning. B2C it is not applicable. 500 crore, I think Anuruddh, you are giving the answer for the previous question. Absolutely correct. SEZ, Sandeep, you are right, but always write SEZ unit, because SEZ developer can also be there, but there is no relaxation for SEZ developer. So not only SEZ, always write SEZ unit. Sunil Dubey, you have added one more new category. Absolutely correct. Thank you so much. Cinematographic film, banking company, NBFC. Tanu, right. Tanu, banking company, NBFC. I received. Sunil Dubey, SEZ unit, GTA cinematographic film. Hayasiri, SEZ unit, banking company, and GTA service. Absolutely correct. And Namrata, 50 crore. Actually, I think you are giving, there is a gap. So you can understand why there is a gap. You can just check why there is a gap. So better check your connectivity. Banking, insurance, Kushi, bilkul, absolutely correct. Sunil Dubey, NBFC supplied the passenger transportation service, absolutely. GTA, Chaitanya, NBFC, absolutely correct. Cinematography film, Harsh Goyal, absolutely correct. Sandeep, banking company, great. Kamar Chaudhary, insurance company, banking company, financial institution, NBFC, absolutely correct. Anirudh, SEZ unit, banking company, NBFC, GTA, passenger transportation. Anirudh has given all the answer. Kushi, supplied the passenger transportation. Yes. Namrata, I think 500 code you are talking about that dynamic QR code. No problem. Chaitanya, exceeding 50 crore. No problem. So thank you so much for your lovely participation, active participation, and we can conclude. Thank you so much. Goodbye to all of you.